loneliness. It's one of the most quietly devastating epidemics of our time. A disease without a rash, a scream without sound. We're the most connected species in history, and somehow, paradoxically, tragically, we're also the loneliest. Have you ever looked around and thought, is this it? You've got notifications, DM, matches, followers, but no one to actually talk to. Not about real shit anyway. You could be surrounded by people and still feel like you're orbiting a different planet. It's not that we're alone. It's that we don't feel seen. Welcome to the loneliness epidemic. We've got memes. We've got swiping. We've got AI girlfriends and digital boyfriends who say good morning with perfect grammar, but can't hold your hand when you're crying in the shower. We live in a world where you can FaceTime your cat in HD from across the globe, but can't find anyone to go get noodles with on a Tuesday night. Let's talk about that. Because globally, regardless of your country, language, or culture, people are drowning in invisible silence. Studies from around the world, from Japan to Brazil to the UK, have shown that more and more people are reporting chronic feelings of isolation. In 2021, research from the European Commission indicated that over 25% of people in the EU frequently feel lonely. In Japan, they even appointed a minister of loneliness to address the spike in suicides and social withdrawal. And Gen Z, they've been called the most connected, yet most emotionally disconnected generation in history. Because growing up with Wi-Fi doesn't mean you grew up with emotional intimacy. When your childhood friendships were built on disappearing messages, meme reactions, and Fortnite skins, of course everything feels fragile now. But let's really dig into one of the most confusing pieces of the puzzle: modern dating. Once upon a time, you met someone because they sat next to you in school, or worked with you, or you bumped into them on the street and your heart did that stupid flutter thing. You didn't need an algorithm to decide if they were your type. You got to know them slowly, by accident, like catching the flu. Now, love is a game of profile optimization. You're not a person. You're a selfie, a snappy bio, and whether or not you can make someone pause for more than half a second. You're not falling in love. You're being evaluated. And the whole system, it's a slot machine. Dating apps run on the same psychological mechanism as gambling. It's called intermittent variable reward. Unpredictable outcomes keep you hooked. Swipe, swipe, swipe. Maybe this next one. Maybe this next one. Maybe this next one. You're not dating. You're pulling a lever. It's no wonder people are burning out. A global survey by Statista in 2022 showed that the longer people use dating apps, the more likely they are to report feelings of anxiety, rejection, low self-esteem, and emotional exhaustion. Because these platforms weren't built to help you find love. They were built to keep you scrolling. They need you single. They need you unsatisfied. Because satisfaction doesn't generate revenue. Insecurity does. So now we live in a world where connection has become content, where people are options, where just talking is a stage and being ghosted is normal. Real touch replaced by emojis, real presence replaced by notifications, real intimacy replaced by scene 2:47 p.m. We used to ask, do they understand me? Now we ask, did they reply? But this isn't just about dating. It's about how we relate to everyone. Because loneliness isn't just being physically alone. It's being emotionally invisible. It's the birthday where your only message is from your internet provider. It's the group chat where no one replies to your text. It's talking and realizing no one is really listening. Chronic loneliness physically rewires the brain. It heightens stress hormones like cortisol. It decreases serotonin. It leads to inflammation, depression, anxiety, and heart problems. In other words, loneliness doesn't just make you feel like you're dying, it literally kills you. And the deeper tragedy, we've started to believe it's normal. We laugh at memes about loneliness. We wear "forever alone" like a badge. We pretend we're okay with it, while secretly wondering if anyone would notice if we disappeared. And yet, we live in cities full of people. We work with colleagues. We comment on posts. We exist in a digital crowd, suffocating but unseen. Modern life has sold us a lie, that independence is strength, but hyper-independence, it's emotional malnutrition. We weren't meant to do this alone. Humans are social creatures. We're wired to co-regulate, to touch, to talk, to laugh over nothing, to cry and have someone say, "Yeah, me too." But somewhere along the way, vulnerability became a weakness, and asking for help became embarrassing. Unless it's on TikTok, then it gets 50,000 likes and a brand deal. So here we are, lonely in a crowd, ghosted by a culture that told us connection was only a few taps away. And that brings us to the final, most uncomfortable truth. This is not just an accident. It's a system. Big tech thrives on your loneliness. Apps, platforms, devices. They feed on your desire to feel seen. They give you a taste, but never the meal. Because real intimacy, it doesn't scale, it doesn't trend, it doesn't keep you scrolling. So what do? We relearn connection. We rebuild relationships, real ones, messy ones, ones with awkward silences and real emotions. We take baby steps back to something more human. Here's how. 1. Micro-interactions matter. Say hi to the cashier. Compliment someone's shirt. Ask your coworker how they really are. This isn't about making best friends. It's about reminding your brain what presence feels like. 2. Get off the apps, or at least detox. Seriously, take a break. Not from love, but from the illusion of it. 3. Lower your expectations, but raise your standards. Stop waiting for cinematic chemistry. Start paying attention to who makes your nervous system feel safe. 4. Lead with honesty. Even if it's terrifying, even if it means saying, "I feel lonely, and I'm tired of pretending I don't." 5. Bring back unstructured time. We don't need more scheduled coffee dates in 3 months. We need the kind of friendship where you show up in sweatpants and just sit. Also, let's talk about touch. There's a thing called touch starvation, and it's destroying people. We need hugs. We need pats on the back. We need someone holding our hand, not a thumbs up emoji. Touch lowers stress, raises oxytocin, reminds your body, "I exist, I'm loved." No, your weighted blanket doesn't count. And yes, some people go literal years without human affection. That's not modern. That's tragic. Now, let's address a big myth. If you're lonely, it doesn't mean you failed. It means you're human, living in a system that monetized your need for connection. It's not your fault. But healing it is your responsibility. You don't have to fix everything overnight. You just have to try. A text, a voice message, a shared meal, an awkward coffee where no one knows what to say. It matters. And if you're an introvert, I see you. This isn't about becoming a social butterfly. It's about realizing that even the most solitary wolves need a pack sometimes. Go for a walk with someone quiet. Sit in silence. Read next to a friend. You don't need to talk. You just need to be with. Let's close this out. We don't need 100 friends. We don't need 1 million followers. We just need a few humans who don't flinch when we're messy. Real connection is awkward, slow, unpredictable, but it's also the most rebellious act in a world that wants us scrolling, numbing, and pretending we're fine. So don't buy the lie that loneliness is your default. It isn't. And if no one else has told you today, you're not weird for wanting more. You're not too sensitive. You're not too much. You're just human. And maybe, just maybe, so is the person you'll message after watching this.